above faces school bullying. He was not afraid. He even spoke to them. Who could have imagined that he was once a target of bullying at school? Unable to bear it, he chose to jump off a bridge to end his life. However, he unexpectedly swapped souls with a gang boss. The gang boss, now in the beau's body, walked into the classroom. He officially began his school life. When he entered the class, the classmates didn't recognize him because the previous beau, Song Lixian, had blonde hair which covered his entire face. The classmates had never really seen his face clearly. After the teacher called the roll, the classmates were shocked. "It's just real, I chew you on this." This. At this moment, Kui Shijing suddenly remembered that he had met Song Lixian in a bookstore before, and Hong Ziming, who used to bully him, had a look of intimacy towards him. As soon as the teacher left, Hong Ziming got up and walked to Song Lixian's seat. He kicked the shadow of Song Lixian. He still questioned Song Lixian as he had before. "Hey. Thank you. Someone always likes you, huh?" "Brother Antarctic, we are not ordinary." In front of Ziming felt hungry and uneasy. Someone who used to be meek in front of him now suddenly spoke in an arrogant tone. It felt like a docile sheep suddenly bumped into him. After class, as usual, Hong Ziming's minions took Song Lixian outside. But now, Song Lixian didn't care about them at all. Because in his body was the soul of the gang boss, Diba. The minions couldn't believe Song Lixian was still smiling. The person they used to bully now spoke with an unprecedented arrogance. "Oh, Li Jihan. Do you know the customs of the chicken market? You're still trying to catch a husband. When will you make a move?" The resistance to sin. The degree of resistance expanding. Jilalia, the first apple district in moderate crops. Tiger. Just like a blade of grass underfoot. Suddenly standing upright. It caught people off guard, provoking blind arrogance. At this point, a minion made a move. Diba threw a beautiful left jab at his face. All the minions were stunned. They couldn't believe Song Lixian dared to fight back. At this moment, another minion rushed up. Because it was Song Lixian's body. Even though he was a skilled fighter, he couldn't use his full strength. After just one round, Song Lixian was kicked unconscious. When he woke up, Kui Shijing appeared. He saw that Song Lixian was injured. Kui Shijing told him, "But I stutter when I eat meat noodles, my yes, no pie guard." In the infirmary, Kui Shijing was treating Song Lixian's wounds when he asked, why did he pretend not to know him in the bookstore? "Aren't they friends?" Song Lixian quickly explained, "You're done." "Well, chewing grass, no wonder it's wrong. Major profits." Kui Shijing didn't believe Song Lixian's words at all. He stared at him for a long time. Finally, he spoke, "You're not Song Lixian." Song Lixian looked at him in confusion. "How do you know?" Kui Shijing responded, "Because Song Lixian was timid, but Song Lixian was silent for a while. Finally, he said, "Because I'm not Song Lixian." Kui Shijing looked at him, unsure of what to say. Then he asked, "So, you're not really Song Lixian?" Song Lixian sighed and replied, "No, I'm someone else." Kui Shijing stared at him for a long moment, as if trying to process what he was hearing. "Then who are you?" Kui Shijing asked, his voice filled with suspicion. Song Lixian was silent for a moment, then answered, "Kui Shijing, the one who will make the bullies afraid," sharp, as if trying to figure something out. He not quite believe it, but said nothing more. After that, he left the infirmary. Song Lixian sat there alone, thinking to himself, In the classroom, he saw the female classmates with pens of all colors. He only had 2 colored pens. He overheard them saying they were going to the stationery store after school. So, he suggested that he go with them after school. After school, the 3 female classmates were still wearing skirts despite the cold weather. At that moment, Song Lixian, acting very gentlemanly, invited them into his luxury car. They were all surprised. The beau who had always been bullied turned out to be a rich second-generation heir. Afterward, Song Lixian took them to a restaurant for a meal. The next day, he bought various colored fruits. With his humor and jokes, he made the 3 female classmates laugh out loud. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. Diba really enjoyed his current school life. Because before, his life was filled with turf wars and fighting. And during physical education class, thanks to his excellent athletic talent, mango season. Even the teacher found it unbelievable. The old Song Lixian could never do this. In the new semester, the teacher felt like Song Lixian had become a completely different person, and he was more cheerful than before. He was more talkative. When the teacher praised him, he kept flattering the teacher. The old Song Lixian rarely spoke, let alone flattering the teacher like today. This made Kui Shijing even more certain that the person in front of him was not Song Lixian. When they were heading back to the classroom, he saw his father's secretary had suddenly come to the school. He hurriedly followed him. He pulled the secretary to a quiet place, and asked what he was doing at the school. It turned out that after the new semester, Song Lixian had spent quite a lot on his credit card. The secretary planned to restrict his spending, so he came to the school to organize his files, and then sent him to a boarding school. The old Song Lixian might have let things slide, but now his soul was that of the gang leader Diba. He wouldn't indulge this usually arrogant secretary. You get all the children who never would at that. In the night, take my Tong Sang Monk. Black Chong Sha, the witch, wait, etc. The wind blows, the pig, the ram, presenting this macaused crack. The move is sure. Which class is he from? He really opened the Caillou Gate in Haixi country by himself. The military team still holds a scene at the center of Yading Row and the railing. The new motorcycle, with a race against the stock market, scores on the busy street here. Little Bu, don't tell me immediately. Don't tell me you're already into the new year. Hamburgers, steamed buns, noodles, and sweets with rich people. Let me go buy watermelon. The secretary got back to the car, feeling furious. He immediately made arrangements to deal with Song Lixian. No one expected this person to be Diba's underling, Don Shui. Kui Shijing tried to get information from Song Lixian while tutoring him. None. Please marry a woman. Hey, Ski, is this how you're going to deal with me? Important. Pressing this hide, you're doing this important thing. Dare to touch I haven't done it. This is going to kill me. People who ask for leave like this, they can make your man fake. Song Lixian didn't understand why Kui Shijing had to figure out his identity. That night, while sleeping, Kui Shijing dreamt of the time when Song Lixian threatened him. Public. Tuozu clan. Arrived. There's no fake. The suit might be mostly first encounter, and all cars let him touch and mess up. That's not the one bought with 5 levels to crash. What should he crash? Ken 1. I don't know what true nature makes Kui Shijing extremely wary of Song Lixian's words. In the coming days, Song Lixian worked out at the gym every day to improve his physical fitness. To further enhance his agility, Song Lixian also joined some combat training. He kept punching and kicking the punching bag, simulating conflicts with Han Zaming's gang, thinking about the helplessness, and they beat him up. That feeling turned into the drive for him to keep going, because only in this way could he truly change this weak body and lay a solid foundation for revenge later on. After a period of hard training, Song Lixian could clearly feel his physical abilities improving. His muscle definition became clearer. His explosive power and endurance far exceeded before. He knew that the current him was no longer that weakling who could be bullied. He was ready now to face Han Zaming's gang, or any other challenges in life. He had the confidence and ability to deal with that. He has the confidence and ability to handle it.